Right. Good afternoon. This is Zachary, and what I'm going to be doing today is I'm going to show you how to take and replace the gasket rope on a wood burning stove doors. These particular ones are pretty straightforward. As you can see, the doors themselves, like that, they have pins on the side. Let me see if I can just do it. The problem with what I want to do is I want to do it quite low because I want to show you how I'm doing it, but obviously I want you to be able to see the actual doors themselves as well. So what we're doing here is we're basically what we're going to be doing. What we're going to be doing is we're going to take this rope off, because what's happened is someone's put this on and they put the wrong size on, so the doors won't shut properly because this is the closing bit. But these are great doors because, as you can see on the side here, they've got pins in, so they're very easy to take out. So if you've got ones that got pins in that lift off, then they can come off very easy. So they're that easy. I can do them on the back of my van. So I'm going to put them down here on the side, and then you'll be able to see what I'm doing. So I'm going to do it like this, and then I'll lift it up and I'll show you. Obviously, the first thing you got to do is you get yourself a cup of tea. There's nothing better than a cup of tea. So how you doing? Nothing better than a cup of tea on a day like today, which is about nearly 28 bloody degrees. And I'm Celtic and I don't like it. So what we've got to do is we've got some fool has decided to put the wrong glue on, and what we've got to do now is we've got to get this stuff off. So basically just rip it off like this. And as you can see, it's what I tend to do is I've got these pair of scissors which are broken on the ends, and they do the job pretty well. So what we'll do is we'll start off at one end and we'll work our way down. But the important thing is what we've got to do is we've got to get rid of all this glue on these. So that's what we do first. Just give it a good old scrape along the edges here, yeah, like that. You can see where the rope goes. So if you take it off, you go, where does it go? There's channels for where it goes. So I've got to put it back on I've taken this one home with me because I've got to fit it back on the customer's house tomorrow, because I'm working near their house. So I'm doing a few sweeps tomorrow, and if you ever look on my Facebook page, you'll see most of the work that I do. I don't put all my videos. I don't do them all loads of videos, because I could do hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of videos. So what we've got to do is, like, as you can see, I don't know what type of glue that they've used, but someone's tried to help the customer. They said, "Oh, I'll do it for you. I know how to do it," and they've messed it right up. So we've just got to keep sometimes a little bit of elbow grease on this is the way forward. So as you can see, look at that, look how tight that is, that stuff on that one. So what we got to do is got to try and get that up. We've got to be careful, obviously, not to break the glass. But this one's right tough, it is. So what I'm going to do is just turn it to the side like that. As you can see, look at that. You can see this stuff, it's all fine here. It's just down here. I always think, like, you can either use a screwdriver. You know, it will come off. It just needs a bit of, God knows what glue they got. Just be careful when you're doing it. You don't want to, always make sure you do it against you, not towards you. And just go down along with it like that, and then just keep going. You get the most of it off like that. This one's the reason why I wanted to do this video because this has been really done bad. So just look, can you see that powder? That's how thick they put it on, and then they put the wrong size on, and poor lady, she's an oldish lady, and she's stuck, she can't use it. But don't try and rush it. That's the other thing you don't want to do. You don't want to rush it. You just want to go gentle, because the last thing you want to be doing is slipping and hurting yourself. And all, look at how that is in there. It's incredible. Last thing you want to be doing is you want to be like hurting yourself and breaking the glass at the same time. So what you want to do is you want to knackered already. Some people haven't got a clue. They should not be allowed to do stuff like that. So as I said, just be gentle. Like it's so hard there. See, the problem is when you've got it like this, it's just so difficult to get the stuff off. But like with the scissors and everything, you can use whatever you want, whatever you feel. Hopefully you won't be in this situation, but if you are and you can't get the glue off, then you can watch me in my videos. I use a wire brush as well, which I'll show you in a minute, because you want to get all the glue off. It's really important that you get it all off, because otherwise just make sure you just be careful of the glass. That's the most important thing. There's no point doing a good job and then you've damaged the glass. If you damage the glass, then you've got to replace the glass, and of course it ain't going to come out of the customer's pocket, is it? We're getting there. I don't know what they've used, but it's certainly not rope glue. Sometimes people use whatever they've got in the house. It's ridiculous, it is. Just as I said, don't do it towards you. It could really, you've got to be so careful, you know, because like sod's law, you get to the last bit, and that's where that's when you do the damage. I'm just gonna, the wire brushes, I love them, because it won't get it all off, but it will make it looser. So that's what we want to do. So I can feel it breaking now. We've just got to be so careful. I mean, look at it. Look at that. I mean, can you see that? That's not that. That's like, I have no idea what that is there. But that's just like taking a little bit of it off. Right, hang on a second. I'm going to get a hammer. For some strange reason, I've only got my club hammer with me, but that'll do. But as I said, just be gentle. You don't want to do any damage, but basically what you want to do is just tap it like that. It should come off. Isn't that amazing? That, like, no idea what kind of glue the guys used. But remember when someone says, "Oh, I'll do it for you," and I always worry because it's always the last bit that always ends up being the bit that can that's why you always got to be gentle on the last bit. That'll be the bit that'll break something. You go, yeah, I've got it all out, and then you'll slip. See, just leaves a little bit of a tap. And the screwdriver I'm using is a broken one. I don't know if you can see that. It just gets in there a lot better, and plus, you know, amazing that glue. I know when I go back to the customer's house, I'll definitely be having a chat with them about this. Find out what sort of glue that whoever did it used, because it's certainly not the glue that I'm going to be using. Right, so now just make sure you can go all the way along like that. As I said, I'll show you in a minute. There's a channel on these. So you really know where it goes and everything. Look at the size of the rope compared to the rope that should have been on there. Can you see the difference? Massive difference. So it's not very good guessing, because you can find out all this information. You can find out what stove it is, and then what you want to do is just get a wire brush. You know, make sure you keep it in the channel. And if you're wondering what I mean by channel, if you look up here, there's a channel going up there and across there, and one going across there and down there like that, and up there like that. So all I'm just doing is keep getting rid of all the glue. And also you've got to be careful because you've got handles on the other side. So you can lean them like they are, like I've been doing, but just don't put any pressure on them. And then just do it like that all the way up. Fortunate enough that the glue is already come off, wasn't on very well. So I'll just turn that over, give it a blow. Goes all over me, of course, and then there you go. So as you can see, I'll bring it right up closer. Let's do it this way. It's good doing the old videos this way because I can actually see what I'm doing while showing you. So now you can see the channels going across here and along here, which is great. So now what we do next is we get the glue. First, before we get the glue, obviously we get the rope. The rope's been delivered in 3 bits. I don't know why, but they've decided to do that. So make sure that you just check which bits you got. But normally it comes in one complete piece, so which is a lot easier. But because it's come in 3 bits, just got to make sure that I don't cut the wrong one. So what I'm going to do is, I just put the actual rope in the actual channel like that, and they go along like that, and then along like that, and then you go, yeah, that's fine, that's going to fit perfect, and that's what you want. Just make sure that goes in there like that, so that's perfect. Then what we do, now we know what size it is, because remember there's this bit here as well, so we've got plenty. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just make sure that's all fine, which it is. Make sure it's right to the edge. This one doesn't have anything on the side. Some of them have them on the actual door to seal the door together, but this one hasn't got it, which is, well, it doesn't make any difference to me, to be fair. But and then what I do is I just see, if you put the rope in before you do it, then you're gonna know how much to cut and the right amount to cut. So as you can see now, look, the rope's in there. It's not glued in, but it's in there ready to go. So what I'm going to do now I've got that bit, so that bit there, I'll just stick that over there on that side there. And then what we've got to do is we're not going to use this bit because it's too short. But remember, we've got a spare one. So we'll make sure that one, what I'll do is I'll just check and see if it works on this side, which it does. So we'll leave that one over there and we'll use this one. And then what we'll do is, because it's a bit frayed at the end, can you see that? What I'm going to do is just snip that off there, and then what I'll do is I'll just put that on there like that, like so. Push that down like that, and then always a good idea with scissors as well. A lot of people use Stanley knives, big waste of time. And there we go, we've got the bits. So now I use, as you know with me, I use Hot Spot. And you can buy it on eBay, really cheap. And then basically what you do is, this one's been upside down, so it doesn't really need a shake, but I always recommend giving them a shake like that. This one's been on upside down. Always leave them upside down, and then you just literally go put it in the channel. Let me see if it's going to come out first. Sometimes it gets hard on the end there. Just needs a screw. Right, I'll be back in a second. That's the great thing about working in your van. All your stuff's here, so get a little screwdriver like that, or a pin, anything, just to push down the hole, because it will get a bit, we want it to be fair. So remember, what you do is where the channel is. It's the great thing about taking the doors off. If you can take the doors off, I'd recommend you taking the doors off. And the reason being is because it's easier to put the glue in and it's not going to run. If you can't, then it still can be done. If you check my other videos, you will find the ones that I've done when I've left the doors on. But this one today, we don't have to do that, so it doesn't matter if you overspill it, it's no big deal. You can sort that out in a minute. Just go across like that. So as I said, it doesn't matter if you overspill it, because then you can just do that. The important bit is not to get it on top of the rope. But as we're doing it this way, we're not going to be putting it straight onto the door. That's why I'm doing it this way today, and the reason why I'm doing it this way is because the videos that I've shown you in the past are all ones where I've either put them straight back on the doors, but this one I'm not, because I'm not going to the customer's house till tomorrow, and so that's why I'm doing it now in the back of the van. I was going to do it in the house, but the missus won't be impressed if I start making a mess. So what you do now, because you know that this is the right length, and see what I mean about the glue in the channels, it's not going to run. See that? All the glue's in the channels now. So that's it. What you've got to do next is you just, because you know that it's going to be the right length, but you don't want to be messing about with it like I've just done twice then. But what you want to do is you want to push it straight on there like that. So really, to be fair, if you just take your time and there's no rushing, it's a really straightforward job to do. When people rush, that's when they get it all mixed up and they get themselves into a bit of a tizwas. And remember, with this one, it's a bit different than the ones that you have to do when the door's on. And the reason being is because you're going to be, and if you do get a little bit on there, as I said, doing it this way is not going to be too much of a problem, because that glue is going to go off before you take it to the customer's house. So. And what I always do is just like any frayy bits at the end, just cut them with the scissors. That's why it's always a good idea to use scissors when you're doing these. And then that's it. It's on. I'm going to tidy it up in a minute. As you can see, that's the first bit on. There's a little bit of overspill on the sides. No bother at all. We'll sort that out in a minute. I've just got to make sure I put the right piece on, which is that piece. Seems longer. If you find that you've got a piece and you've overcut it, maybe I haven't. Just put that in there like that. Most important thing about these is that you make sure that you put the no glue on top of the rope. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to leave that for a few minutes. And then I'm going to wipe the glue off at the sides just to tidy it up. It doesn't look but it's so simple. I think we spent more time. Make sure when you with the handle, you see that it goes around and the rope's not in the way. So the last thing you want to do is put the door back on and then the rope doesn't work. So what we're going to do now is just want to get rid of that glue on there. Just tidy it up a little bit. Note to oneself, don't put too much glue in, otherwise it doesn't matter if you get a little bit of overspill. As I said, this one's not actually going to be, by the time this dries, it's not actually going to be going on the door tonight. But if I was doing it where I was going to put it straight back on the door, I'd make sure. And to be fair, if you get a little bit of glue on the overspill on the side, that's alright. It's not, this is not the problem. It's when you get it actually on the rope on the top bit, because what'll happen is you close the door and then it will obviously stick to the door. So what we'll do is we'll just put that like that for the moment. I'm going to leave that for a second. But all I've got to do now is I've just got to rub that off. So as you can see, the difference, apart from the sweat, excuse that. It's a shame that sweat doesn't clean the soot off, but that's how much I'm working at the moment. So that's how you do it. Look at the difference between that one. Let me just put that outside for a moment, because I haven't got much room in the back here. Loads, too much stuff. You just put that gently there. So that one, you see that? So I was only going to just show you the one. Hopefully we'll see how this comes off. See, this one is actually not too bad. Look at that. But look at the thickness difference. And the poor lady was wondering why she couldn't get it on. Look at the difference in thickness. Look at that. It's like, what the? It's just never gonna work, is it ever? So if you've got friendly friends, and then what we do is we just get the old, it's got like silicone glue on it or something. God knows. I shouldn't really say that. I have no idea what that is. God wouldn't know. But yeah. And then what we do is that there's a bit of glue on this side here. Spray that off like that. And as I said, we've got to be careful, don't watch the glass. Nearly had it then. Because the amount of times, not now, because you learn, but the amount of times you do a job and then you're like, it's such a good job, and then all of a sudden, weird it is, this stuff. It's weird because it's got like silicone at the bottom, but you've got to get the glue off, otherwise it's not going to last. Just give it a little tap, but remember, just do it gently because there's only glue, not been welded on. But if you do this, it'll make all the difference. So then again, right, I'll tidy up the band and then just give it a good scrape down. Remember, it's just the channels, you can see where it goes as well. Like I said, I'll show you in a minute, but some of them actually have, I mean, you don't have to get all the glue out, but if you can, it's just like, it just makes it easier for everything to stick in there, which is great. And then what we do, like that. As you can see, what a difference that is already. See, what a difference. Let's put that all to one side. As I said, I don't have to show you the next one, but we'll stuff it. So you see that? Look at the difference of that then. And there's sweat on there. That's how hot it is in Sussex. Right, so this one, so remember what I was saying, we've got to measure it first because we don't want to be messing about with it, with the glue, and it depends how much rope you've got spare. I mean, if you do use them in one roll, then it doesn't matter. I normally use a roll of it, but I was given this by the customer, so I don't know the lengths of it, but let's just do that. And then what we'll do is we grab the old scissors, cut it at the edge like that, and then we know what we're doing. And then we get the glue. Try not to put as much as we did last time. It's a bit more challenging not to put as much, but we're going to try and do it without any overspill on this one. Because we should be able to, because we've been doing these for 25 years now. So it's what's going on here? This hotspot's really good stuff, by the way. I'd strongly recommend it. You can get it online. I've been using it for years. That's why I love this stuff. Totally recommend that. It's great. Well, just make sure you ain't got any glue on my fingers. I'm going to take these off now, to be fair. My hands are sweating. Alright. Always a cup of tea goes down really well. like my maiden mug. You can tell I'm at home. I went to see him at West Ham Olympic Stadium about a month ago, their 50th anniversary. I was so keen on putting the videos up on my YouTube channel, but I put them on my Instagram channel instead. There's a couple of good videos on there. It was awesome. I've seen Maiden about, a bit of a metalhead, and I've seen Maiden about, but that's my 6th time I've seen them now. I've seen them at Sonosphere, Download, Earls Park, Hammersmith Odeon, Wembley Arena, and where else? And then obviously London Stadium. Originally I thought that was actually Wembley Stadium. And it's literally only a week before. My mate goes, nah. I've got a lot of ex-military mates. So if any of you are watching, hope you're doing alright. I'll see you soon. And you know what I'm on about. And yeah, there's a mad, one of them pointed out and said to me, no, it's not the stadium. It is the stadium, but it's West Ham's ground. So I was like, oh shit. Good job he told me, because we would have gone the complete wrong way. The Hellstorm were playing. God, that Lizzie, she's got a fantastic voice. But yeah, as I said, I was really tempted to put the video up on my YouTube. But I just want to really make it more about, there we go, we've got that bit on there. Just keep it, hopefully we can keep hold of these pieces. I've got this thing about saving my bits and bobs, because you just don't know. But obviously I'm not going to like put 2 bits together, but even like bits like that, you'd never know, they might go on the job instead of using the whole roll. So what we're going to do, I don't want to put that too close, so I'm going to cut it. Yes, I am. Push that down on there like that. So remember, you know, you can see how easy it is. It's so much easier doing it this way. But all you got to just remember is you've got to get the glue out. Get the old rope and the old glue out. That's what you've got to do. And then what we'll do is we'll put the top back on. Otherwise this stuff goes off, and leave that on there like that for the moment. So remember, hotspot, they do the gasket ropes as well. It's great. I've got rolls of 25 metre. Ooh, we need to put that on there. That's the wrong one. 25 metre rolls of that stuff I've got. It's cheaper to buy, and on eBay as well. I was buying it from no names, but I was buying it from a company, like a hardware store in Burgess Hill, and they were charging me £85 for a 25 metre roll, and I got it on eBay for 25, between 25 and 35 depending on what size it is. For 25 metres. Savage. And I thought they used to look after me in there. And they're all nice and smiles and everything. Needless to say, I've never been in there, back in there again. So all you just got to do is just, what you want to do is just go around with your finger, push it down, so make sure that it's actually on the glue. And there you go, look. Move that out of the way. See, that's a bit better. Look at that. You see that? Now the difference of that. Now that's how you do it. And then you see these little bits here. It's not a problem you get overspill here, because you can just go like that with your finger. You get rid of them like that. Look. Well, my advice to you to do when you do this, like this, remember these are pin ones, so this is why I've been able to take it out and bring it home with me. And then when I go back to the customer's house, I'll just put this back onto the brackets, the hinges, and it pushes the pins back through, and it's ready to go. But what I'd advise you to do with this, I'm going to have a tidy up now, and then what I'd advise you to do in about 5 minutes time, see, there's no glue on this one, and it's here that you don't want the glue, but if you get a little bit on it, don't panic. But what I'd advise you to do in about 5 minutes time, just go along and just push it down a bit further. Just push it down, let it settle in there for the moment, and just go all the way around and then push it down like that, and just go all the way around. I mean, if you're going to put it onto a door straight away, like I do a lot, because I take all the ropes with me and the glue and everything with me to jobs, and obviously I can't hang around too long. But what I do with them is I put them on, and then I close the door, and then I open the door straight away, and then I check to see if the glue's all right. And as I said, if you don't get the glue on the top bit, it's not going to stick to the door. But what I recommend you do, I'm going to stop the video now, but what I recommend you do in about 5 minutes, I'm going to have a tidy up in here. I recommend that you just go around the edges and just squeeze it down like that. Make sure that it's all intact, because the last thing you want to do is you want to put it back on. But it's great, it's a good idea doing it this way, to be fair, because then it gives it time to dry, and then it's ready to go. So the two options, if you're working on site and you need to do it, if you check out my other videos of doing this, it will show you how to do them with the doors still up, actually connected to the wood burner. But I thought I'd do one where you could take the pins out and do it on the floor, and actually the floor of my van, because it's a lot easier doing it this way, and then you can leave it. And obviously this one, you know, because of the glue was pretty bad in there. I mean, look at the size of the rope. Look at it, it's massive. Certainly definitely wasn't for this. But anyway, the customer's going to be really chuffed when I bring this back tomorrow. So and literally for me tomorrow, I've just got to go in there, and then I've just got to basically I've just got to put it back on the hinges, put the pins in, shut the doors. And remember that when you're doing them, so this one's an interesting one. I think this is, I can't remember what make this is now. Might probably have it on the front of the door. This one, it's got the closing bit here. See that? That's the closing bit, and that bit actually goes and connects into the stove. So you make sure that that's got plenty of clearance there on that. So what I'm going to do now with this one, I'm going to put them both outside, and I'm going to go tidy up, and then I'm just going to clean everything up. As you can see, it's all drying, so it's not going to, because all my biggest fear is you close the doors, you open it, and then it sticks to the door. But it's not going to happen on this one. So I'm going to put them to one side now, just out here out the way, and then I'm going to have a nice tidy up. And that's how you put gasket ropes. That's how you take the old rope off, the wrong one. That's how you remove the old glue, and that's how you put the new ones on. It's so simple. And you can just come back and forth to this video as much as you want, rewind it, have a look. It's so simple. But remember, realistically, you don't need a club hammer, you need just a normal hammer. I'd recommend a good pair of scissors, wire brush, this to sort of channel out their glue, and this to sort of, because obviously this is going to last. This is about 8 or 9 quid on eBay. It's going to last a good few jobs and everything, so that's what I'd recommend. I hope this is really helpful for you. Have a great afternoon. Whatever you're doing, I'm going out for an Indian tonight, so should be very nice for a Thursday night. So have a nice one. Take care from Zachary.